Hey, hi everyone, and welcome to Visiting Luzerne. This is a monthly show. We bring you up to date what's happening in this great county of Luzerne County. Remember, you can watch us 24/7 on ssptv.com. I know some of you do not get cable, Service Electric Cablevision, as well as Service Electric Cable Communications, and Comcast 190 in Pottsville. I want to appreciate the nice comments. Today, we do not have Alan Stott. We have someone even nicer and prettier. We have Sarah Harris with us, who is the Director of Sales and Marketing. Well, Sarah, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for coming down.
You're
Sam.
a lot better looking than Alan. At least a lot pleasure to be with you. Okay. I have to tell you an interesting story. My wife and I are at Boyer's Supermarket. And a friend of a lady who lives in Lancaster, she came up, she said, Mr. LaSant, she said, do you have a minute? I said, yeah, we always have a minute. And so she said, you know, my friend lives in Lancaster. And I watched the show with you, with Mr. Stout, and you're talking about what's going on in Luzerne County. She said, so I was telling my friend, who travels a lot, always travels, about this, show. So she went out and she watched the two shows on YouTube. And she said to me, she said, I travel, go to New York, New Jersey, New York, here, and all over the place. She says, I did not realize all of the great things that are available right here in my backyard, which is up, an hour, in Luzerne County. Yeah. So I think she went to one of the events that Al and I were talking about, and she was amazed that there was all this activity here in Luzerne County.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that. That's fantastic.
It's really interesting, isn't it?
It is.
Like we're talking today about the many activities that are happening. I was telling you before the show, I found by doing these reports, we do the Visiting the Luzerne report. We're going to start doing the Luzerne County Community College report every month. Because there's a zillion things happening there. We do the mayor's report in Hazleton with Mayor Cassett. We do the mayor's report in Clues with Mayor Clues in Pottsville. We do the Schuylkill report and the school district, Hazleton Area School District report. These reports are so informational. But anyway, so why are you here today?
I'm here to talk about Luzerne County.
Okay, no kid. What do we got? A lot of great things happening in Luzerne.
We have such a busy month.
Go ahead.
We have such a busy month. So we're starting off this coming weekend, August 9th and 10th, with the 20th annual Plymouth Kielbasa Festival, which is just such a fantastic thing that they do there. 20 years. I mean, I don't know. I don't know so many other events that have that kind of longevity.
What happens at this Kielbasa Festival?
You really just get to travel around and sample kielbasa. Do you say kielbasa or kielbasa?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I just eat it. I just know it tastes good and I eat it.
There's a lot of great vendors. There's a lot of great live entertainment. They have music. They have, all kinds of, fun family things. There's events going on at places too, like the Plymouth Public Library. They're doing.
Where's this location at?
In Plymouth.
In Plymouth.
Yeah, right on the main street in Plymouth. And the library is doing an auction, so you can go to the library and get tickets. And, they have basket raffles. And, it's just a really great community event. So we're really exciting for them. August 10th and 11th, the Hot Wheels Monster Truck Live Glow Party at Mohegan Arena. Yeah. So there's going to be monster trucks and all kinds of.
Did you ever go to one of those events?
I have not.
Yeah.
I have not.
They're very exciting.
I can imagine it's very loud, and this one glows in the dark, and that's great. But there's sunsets on South Main and Wilkes-Barre on the 15th of August.
What is that now?
That is with the Diamond City Partnership, right in the Midtown Village in downtown Wilkes-Barre, right on Main Street. They have live music and they've got food and I believe SBC is there, and it's really just a nice time to be outside and enjoy the weather. And so there's a lot of that stuff happening. There's a free concert on Public Square in Wilkes-Barre featuring Starship. Mm-hmm. And so members of that band were in Jefferson Starship and Jefferson Airplane, and so there's a lot of really great things happening. There's definitely something for everybody. The Peach Festival is happening in Wapwallopin. We have the 38th annual Summer Arts Festival at Penn State Wilkes-Barre out in Lehman. So they have a big arts and crafts fair.
You know, that's interesting because when you go there and you see the creativity of so many people, you know, my wife and I are into that. You know, we like to go to museums and, you know, it's interesting. And when you look at the talent that we have.
I agree. The Hazelton Rotary is going to do their wine and beer festival.
Where's the wine and festival? Is it up in Hazelton?
Yeah, it's at City View Park.
That's right.
In Hazelton.
That's right.
The Wild Women Festival is happening.
The Wild Women?
Wild Women Festival.
Wow.
Yeah.
Men, hold on here. What's the Wild Women Festival?
It's a collaborative event with some community partners, and it takes place just outside of Luzerne County in Tunkhannock, but the partners that create this event are local to Luzerne County, and it's just a great day of yoga and workshops and just wellness. And
Only women?
I believe, you know, anybody can go, but it's
Why do they call it the Wild Women?
I'm not exactly sure. I'm not exactly sure. You would have to ask
Come on,
them.
Sarah, you're holding back on us here.
You'd have to go to the event and find out why the women
That's
are
in
wild.
Tunkhannock?
Yeah, it's in Tunkhannock.
And what day is it?
That happens August 25th.
Okay.
And then on August 31st, the Rainbow Alliance is putting on an adult field day event in Kirby Park. So we have some celebrity referees. You know, it's going to be a really fun event with, you know, a lot of adult, you know, activity. There's going to be like a relay race and an obstacle course and all kinds of
Is this a yearly event?
This is the first year that they're doing that.
Oh, okay.
So that's taking place August 31st.
I want you to mark that calendar, the 31st.
Yes,
not
sir.
only for this event,
Okay.
but there's a big event happening that day.
What event?
You're not aware of it, are you?
I'm not.
It's my 50th anniversary.
Congratulations.
Yes, Debbie and I are married 50 years.
Happy anniversary.
August 31st.
August
50 years
31st.
ago. Could you imagine? And I'm only 47 years old.
How did you do that?
How did this happen?
That's the magic now.
No, that's
well, congratulations.
Well, I'm glad to hear that there's some other things exciting happening.
You can come and celebrate. Tickets are on sale.
Oh, honey, we're going to go to the Wild. No, I'll take her to the Wild Women's.
They're to Wild Women.
You know,
That'll be great.
That's good.
Yeah.
That should be a pretty interesting event.
It should be, yeah. There's a lot of stuff. And then there's all kinds of stuff in between. There's car shows and farmers markets. And
How does one get all this information? They go to your website?
they can, right on our website, visit LuzerneCounty.com.
Yeah, and I would highly recommend that, my friends, because when you go there, what Sarah's talking about, or we're highlighting today, but there are a lot of other things that are happening in the county. Like this lady from Lancaster said, she couldn't believe all the different things happening. And how do, if somebody wants to have an event, okay, or something happening that they feel would be interesting for the public in Luzerne County, how do they go about, you know, getting this advertised, promoted through visiting Luzerne?
All they need to do is come to our website. Right on the middle of our website where we have a preview of our calendar, there's a button that says submit an event. So you click that button, you put all your information in there, and we'll add it to our calendar.
All right. And so that means they'll get the information of what's happening in the Luzerne County.
Yeah.
Now, do you promote any other events outside the county?
We do. We have some partners outside of the county. So Knoebels, Claws and Paws.
What's Claws and Paws?
Claws and Paws is a animal park. Yeah, and then we have Roba Family Farms as a partner, and Lakeland Orchard.
It's Roba.
Roba Farms, it's a great place to go for. In the fall, they do like a big pumpkin patch, and you know, and then in Lakeland Orchard, and also in Lackawanna County, they have all kinds of festivals throughout the year. So I believe right now they're doing Blooms and Butterflies, and they just had a blueberry festival, and they do a strawberry festival, and then in the fall they have an apple festival. You take a train through the orchard, and
Do they have any of that in Luzerne County? Any festivals
we have a ton of festivals in Luzerne County, which is great. And then if you're looking for something specifically like that, you know, we have Hillside Farms.
Yeah.
You know, which really you can't beat.
Yeah.
It's such a great place. And Brace's Orchard.
We're here at visiting Luzerne here in Wilkes-Barre, a beautiful place. And we're on every month visiting Luzerne, giving you information what's happening. Coming up next, we have the mayor of Pittston. He's only been there 16 years. I think he knows a little bit about the town. And this tomato festival, interesting, and a lot of other great things happening in Pittston, one of many towns in Luzerne County that have so much to share with us. We'll be back after this. Hey, welcome back to Visiting Luzerne, my friends. You know we do this show every month, giving you an idea of what's happening in Luzerne County. Joining me now on the show, Mike Lombardo is the mayor. 16 years, Mike, you've been there, huh?
Yeah, I've been there 4 terms, so rounding out this 4th term now and looking forward to next year and running again.
Pittston, Pennsylvania. It's a interesting town. A lot of great people in Pittston. I mean, I was mentioning a few of them before. Tell me about your town.
Well, I think the great news about our city is we're strategically located between Wilkes-Barre and Scranton. I like to consider us sort of the Switzerland of Luzerne and Lackawanna County. We find that people will cross the county line from Lackawanna County and actually come to the city of Pittston and do things. And our friends from Wilkes-Barre and Hazelton will come up to the city and also do things. So our location has always been good. But, you mentioned people, and I think, that's really the heart of where it is. The city was built, on hardworking ethnic groups that came, and whether they were in the mining industry or the garment industry, which became the sister industry to the coal mining industry, they worked hard, and they had good values and they had good family values. Their religions were important to them. You'll see that our city skyline is filled with steeples. Not only do we have one church that's of Italian denomination, but we usually have two. I think the Sicilians went one way, and the rest of Italy went the other way.
Yeah.
And the same thing with the Irish and the Germans. So, there's with that, and with those things comes strong ethnic foods, the work values, and like every place else in northeastern Pennsylvania, when those sort of anchor industries left, coal mining, and then the garment industries, started to be shipped overseas, it changed the landscape like it did here in Northeast PA. So we've been working hard for the last 25 years to sort of reevaluate and redefine and reposition ourselves.
I find, there's many people I've known from Pittston still know, they have a sense of pride, which is so important, and about the city of Pittston. And, do you find that as well? Well, you've been the mayor for 16 years.
That's definitely, one of the things that I always talk about in the first mural we did in the city. I told the artist a simple thing. I said to him, I want you to be inspired by two things. The idea that in order for us to move forward, we stand on the strong shoulders of those that came before us. And the other thing is our slogan has become, we're proud of our past and we're confident in our future. So, that pride is what permeates that pride of where we've been fuels where we want to go.
In Pittston, okay, I was mentioned to before, many friends of mine there, great restaurants.
Yes.
I mean, like one's better than the other. Tell me about some of those restaurants.
So, we have a bunch of great restaurants. We have
Gosh.
a bunch of great pizza places. We've got Napoli and we've got DeMuro's. We've got Lisa's Mezzo Mezzo. Those are 3 pizza places. But we're also seeing sort of a shift in what it used to be a strong, Italian sort of restaurant scene downtown. You have places like the Gramercy that have anchored the downtown forever. But now we have places like Ricasa, which is a high-end restaurant that's come to Main Street. We've got Bravo Tex-Mex, which is a great from scratch Mexican restaurant. We've got Fuji, which is an Asian fusion kind of restaurant. They have a second location, which is a noodle bowl restaurant. And soon to open, we have a place called The Refinery coming. And it's a husband and wife chef team whose families, grew up in the city, and they're opening, ironically, in one of the largest buildings in the city. It's 150,000 square feet, a former dress factory that's now a mixed-use building. So, our restaurant scene is really moving. We have Canteen, which is a great lunch place. The Majestic has been around forever. If you want to get a great dog and a great hamburger with chili, that's the place to go. There's no place better than the Majestic. But we've got Vito's Bistro that's been around for 30 years. We have a China 3 on Main Street. So it's becoming a very diverse sort of restaurant scene downtown. And that's one of the sort of niches that we've pushed. The restaurant scene, and then layered with that, is the art scene.
Now you have parking, so
Sure.
people coming. I know a lot of people from the area come into different restaurants. One thing we've been blessed in Luzerne County. I mean, not only in Pittston, but around Luzerne County, we have a lot of great restaurants. I mean, and people that actually take pride. Then you have this event that happens every year. This bewilders me. This tomato festival. Okay. I mean, I love tomato salads. I'd like to eat tomatoes. I don't see why we should be throwing them at people. But tell me, number one, about this tomato festival. How did it start? And are we crazy?
Well, crazy is a matter of perception. I think if we're not crazy, then we're not fun.
Yeah.
So, I like to be crazy. Yeah. So if you're crazy, then you're on the bus with me.
Yeah.
But the festival is, it started back in the mid 80s, and it started by then Mayor Tom Walsh and a small committee that really, some of those things I talked about on the onset of this interview, where do we go? How do we sort of redefine who we are? They picked the tomato because, and I'm always very precise in telling you, we are not the quantity tomato capital of the world. We do not have huge tomato farms. We are the quality tomato capital of the world, which means that there's a unique distinctness to tomatoes in Northeast PA, and that's a proven fact. Penn State and Cornell actually did a study and identified 4 strains of tomatoes that are indigenous to Northeast PA. Well, the question is, why is that? Why is that? Goes back to coal mining and the soil and the acidity in the soil, which yields a different taste. So, the forefathers that were on the festival committee before me decided that, we were going to take this tomato and we were going to kind of brand it and make it the sort of the thing that we move forward with. The festival has been going now, like I said, for 4 decades. We get over 100,000 people. This year is interesting because we actually, Reading and Northern, the new train system that's running in the city, is actually bringing on Saturday of the festival 600 people up from Nescahoning. So it keeps growing and we keep adding events. We're on 3 different layers now of the festival, so we use 3 parking lots. And it's fun. It's a great place to get lots of good food, but I think it speaks volumes to something you said initially. It really is about pride, and it's about people getting together. And one of the things that we find is that a lot of people will schedule simultaneously family reunions, graduations, and class reunions around the festival because it's a good sort of event that if you're having a reunion and people are coming from out of town, you can do the reunion and you can say, okay, and we're going to meet up at the festival. And we see that happening a lot.
So the theme is tomato.
Correct.
Okay. So how did it get to the point where, where they have the throwing of tomatoes at people? How did that start?
So we actually have paused that now because...
Oh, you did?
Yeah, we did. We haven't done that in about 3 years. And
Okay.
I'll tell you why. Because of changes in weather, the tomato season has sort of drifted a little bit. So right now, we're just starting to get ripe tomatoes. We're in sort of the throes of that. Yeah. And that's a little bit farther down the road than it used to be. And the reason I tell you that is because when we did the tomato fights, we used rotten tomatoes that were being discarded. We're very serious about, I think, being responsible, particularly when it comes to food. Yeah. And I'm proud to say that the years that we did the fight, we raised about $8,000 per year, and we donated those proceeds to food kitchen, and food pantries and things like that. So because the season is pushed out now, we can't get rotten tomatoes in 2 weeks. And we're not going to throw good tomatoes. So we've paused doing that. But it might be something we bring back that becomes detached from the festival and it becomes a separate event.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear they say, because a lot of people say they're wasting food.
We've never wasted any good food.
Yeah. Now, what is the benefit, okay, other than people getting together and having a great time? Because,
the benefit of the festival?
In fact, the last time I was there about 3 years ago, okay, I guess probably it was probably the last time they had the throwing of tomatoes. But what is the benefit for the town of Pittston?
The festival itself?
Yeah.
Well, I think the festival itself, and the festival's not the only event we do. I mean, our calendar is full now, starting in March with our St. Pat's Parade that kicks off our event season. Our events run right through December. We have Shop with the Cop and La Festa de Natal, which is our celebration on Main Street. But all of those events, including the festival, I think are a great opportunity for, I call them the mousetrap. they're the opportunity to get some people that otherwise maybe haven't been downtown and haven't seen the progress to come and take a look. And on your way to the festival, you may pass, a new place like Grayson Park, which is a women's clothing store that is now on Main Street, and you might see that and say, hey, I didn't know that was here. So I think that's the benefit. The other benefit is that, look, I mean, it's nice to take pictures of buildings and murals and art, but at the end of the day, the true essence of community isn't those things, the physical things, it's people. And I think the festival allows us to get together, and again, with our neighbors from other communities, and with new guests, and we meet new people, and we get to talk to people, and that's the piece that I love the most. The last couple of years, I've been able to, in my capacity as mayor, host other mayors from across the state. They come up to the festival, and that's always fun, and I like doing that. So, I think that's the benefit, really. And I think we're so fortunate in Northeast PA, and it's not something that's unique to Pittston. You can see it really through both counties, is that we still have that sense of community here. And when you talk about things like the Valley with the Heart, and when people say things like, well, it's just different here, that's what they're talking about, that spirit. When you go to other places, you got a lot of people that, in these booming places, let's like pick Seattle, really a cool, great place. But everybody that's there, I don't think anybody that's there acts like they're from there. The people that are here, they feel a part and a sense of being here. And even the new people that come. I have a resident that approached me, it's hard to believe, because I was shocked when he told me he's been in the city now for 30 years. I remember when he got here, and he told me 2 weeks ago at the farmer's market that it's the best decision that he and his wife have ever made.
Yeah, you're so right. And when I was chairing with Manny Gordon the muscular dystrophy with WNEP, I saw, they made me the chairman of the telethon, which I was very honored. But I saw the people and how they had this pride, and they do have the helping people. Getting back to the city of Pittston, okay, like when we do the mayor's report with Mayor Cassette, he talks about what's happening. We just did the transit, we did the airport, etc. What are some of how is the city financially?
We're in the best place we've ever been. So, when I first ran back in 1998, I told our residents something because I wanted them to understand what my theory was and where we were headed. And what I believed was that when you looked at our downtown, it was the most underserved in terms of producing. It was yielding the least amount of fruit economically and in viability. And really downtown should be like Monopoly. It's Boardwalk and Park Place. And if that place is not producing, then the whole city is going to struggle. So in 1998, we were in rough shape. Fast forward 20 some years, we have an investment grade credit rating that's been upgraded now twice by Moody's. We're the smallest city that Moody's has ever rated. So that's good news. All of our pension funds, which is an important metric to pay attention to, are funded over 90%. We have a healthy reserve fund. We've had clean audits. And more important than anything, we are going on 16 years where we've not had a property tax increase. So, the driving force is that we're building now a viable, vibrant downtown that people want to live in. And if you look back in 1998, the Main Street was very first floor linear. So the only occupancy was in all of the first floors. Buildings that had second and third floors had nobody in them. Quite often when you looked up, the windows were boarded up. That was really the impetus for me to run because I was frustrated with the way the city looked. And it was a place that, my formative years and my adolescent years were spent downtown. So I wanted us to get back to that place of greatness. We still have work to do, but we're moving in the right direction. And, all indicators on the economic side, we're in the strongest position we've ever been.
What I like about you, Mike, and a lot of mayors, is that, you're a mayor for all the people. You're not a mayor for just the Democrats or Republicans, etc. You're a mayor. The party doesn't come into play, but you're out there doing what's best for the community. And boy, we need a lot more people like that.
We do, and I think that's a really interesting point, particularly in this juncture in time. I last year had the honor to serve as the president of the Pennsylvania Municipal League, which essentially is all the cities and larger municipalities across the state, including Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. And one thing I can tell you is that, Jeff is a Republican and I'm a Democrat, and we're great friends. Mayor Pacifico out in Altoona is a Republican, great friends of mine. Mayor Slaughter in Williamsport is a great guy, great friend, but he's a conservative Democrat like me. And look, at the end of the day, it's about serving the people, and there's no Democratic or Republican way to do the things that I need to do.
Exactly.
And that's making sure that our city is safe. Yeah. That's making sure that we provide for health and public safety, which means garbage is picked up and collected. Fire services are provided. Roads are passable, paved, and clean during the winter. I mean, you tell me the party way to do that, because I don't really know the way it is. You either do it right or you do it wrong. So I think a lot of valuable lessons can be learned. We got to stop all this stuff. This far left and far rightness, that's not really what the people want. Look, we want to build a place where people feel safe and they have a right to express themselves. And if they want to be different, they can be different. But we need to focus on the basic things. And I'm sorry to tell you that I think right now in 2024, there are a lot of people that are struggling, that need help. And that's the reality that I see every day. And I want to make sure that the seniors in my city are protected.
Well, not only do you say it, but you do it. And that's a lot of people do a lot of this talking around. I have over 6,000 shows I've done, Mike, in my day. Okay, and I've said this many times. I've interviewed a lot of great people and a lot of phonies. Particularly the politicians who want to come in and say they're doing this and they've never done anything. You've proven the record, etc. I love Pittston. It's a great town. There are a lot of great friends of mine there, okay? I wish only the best and good luck with the Tomato Festival.
Well, I appreciate that. And thank you for the time being on the show. I want to say that the only way we move forward is with good partners and through partnerships, and whether it's, the Tourism Bureau or the county or doing your show or the other media, we got to work together and we got to make sure we get our message out. So I'm always appreciative of these opportunities to be on shows like this and talk about our city and then talk about the Northeast.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure to see you, Mike.
Thank you.
Well, my friends, thanks for joining us visiting Luzerne. We'll see you next time.